Danny Cut, and today we're back for another review. I think we're going to talk spoilers on this. The movie has been out for almost 2 weeks now. Backrooms 2026, one of the sneaky hits of this year. A movie that only cost about $10 million to make has already passed about 200 million at the box office, and is a film right now for me. It is the best movie of the year. Now, if you guys haven't, please like and subscribe, and let's roll. Okay, getting into the Danny Cut. First and foremost, I'm going to just give you guys my quick little, maybe 10, 20-second elevator pitch on this movie, how I felt about it. And then I'm going to throw it over to DC, and he's going to give you his, sort of general thoughts on it. And then we'll get a little bit into the movie and quick spoiler on what he's seen and what I've seen. We both have obviously seen the movie, but I do not know his reaction. So again, I don't know what he's going to say to me. He knows I love the movie, obviously. Okay. Like I said in my quick out of the theater reaction, this is the best movie of the year. What can I say? First and foremost, there's so many ways you can go here. The acting is phenomenal. I don't want to butcher his name, but Shiawatal Ejiofor, I believe is how you pronounce his name. A longtime veteran. I first discovered him, like many of us, on 12 Years a Slave. Is outstanding in this movie. He basically is playing an over the hill furniture salesman, alcoholic, recently divorced man that's really down on his luck. What else? He's seeing a therapist who also plays a pretty big role in this movie. And I gotta say, overall, the acting is superb. The script, like I mentioned in the out of the theater reaction, is very minimal. There's not a lot of exposition, which I always enjoy. You guys know my favorite movies: Seven, No Country for Old Men, Shawshank Redemption. I don't like movies that have a lot of explaining in it. I want to discover the themes and the plot and all that, the twists, the turns, and just look. Overall, this movie is absolutely terrifying. Not a lot of graphic stuff, which is always, again, if you're an Evil Dead fan, if you're you're into that stuff, that's fine. Saw, but I like more the psychological thriller stuff. So for me, Backrooms is about a 9.5 out of 10. I don't think it's a perfect film. It reminds me of The Shining in a lot of ways. So for me, it's awesome. DC, what did you think of the movie first and foremost? How did you feel watching it? Were you scared? Were you bored? Did you eat your popcorn?
No,
Tell me.
it's definitely a slow burn. I wouldn't say I was bored at it by any means, but it's definitely a slow burn psychological thriller. The moment I walked out while I was watching the movie, actually, I was thinking to myself, "There's two words that I can describe this movie perfectly, and it's a beautiful nightmare kind of movie." Definitely a slow burn. It starts off obviously very slow, but it starts to pick up midway point of the film. And to your point, the acting in this movie was, I mean, grade A. I mean, it didn't get, couldn't have gotten any better than what it was. Chiwetel Ejiofor, I hope I'm pronouncing it right as well, but he did a great job, playing the main character in this film. I thought that his um, co-actress, not sure her name. I haven't seen her in a lot of movies prior to this, but I think she did a really good job as well. I think she actually stole the show. Obviously being more involved towards the end of the film. But walking out of the theater, I was looking at my son when we were watching. We kept looking at each other in certain parts because this movie doesn't rely on jump scares to get you. It does this weird creepy thing where it just puts things in weird places sometimes, and you got to really be looking out for it. But they did the horror in this movie almost. I look at this director and what he did, and I think he's kind of our modern day James Wan, and kind of how he's transcending that horror genre. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So I wouldn't put it up as far as the best movie I've seen this year. I think that Project Hail Mary still holds that crown, at least for me. but it's definitely up there. It's a great film. The way that it was kind of filmed got you really on the edge of your seat, pretty much from the moment they hit the back room. It was very, and something else that's weird about this movie. Did you notice how his store was always empty? That nobody ever went to go buy furniture, and I felt like that was kind of a very subtle way of making you just kind of eerie as you're sitting down
Yeah.
watching this movie. I
Yeah.
thought that was cleverly done, because this movie is just, it hit the right mark for what it was trying to to tell.
Yeah, awesome. And so the actress who plays Dr. Mary Klein, that's her character's name, is Renette Reinsve. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
Uh, Overall, I do think the movie is right now number one for me throughout the year. One of the things that I felt when I would see him go into the back room, and I did some research before this because I wanted to make sure that my theme my feelings on the certain themes were correct. So basically, when you enter the back rooms, and again, this is spoilers. This will have spoilers. So tune away if you haven't seen it. Uh, when you enter the back room, what it is basically a representation of all of your fears, nightmares, failings, misgivings in your life. Hence, when he walked in for the first time, you see that big pile of furniture. You see the furniture in little chairs sitting the wrong ways and stuff like that. So I thought that was a very cool twist on the psychological thriller genre. Another thing that I like you mentioned, was that it didn't revolve around the jump scares,
No.
right? Very that Again, when you see great horror films, the Halloweens, the Insidiouses, those movies, even Saw to a certain extent, lighting plays a huge role. People don't really notice it, but it creates an effect. And in this movie, he goes into this back room that is completely lit up, but yet down the hall always it's dim,
Right.
right? So it gives you that sense of like, all right, yeah, I see what's in front of me, I can see it all, but down the hall is terrifying,
Yeah.
right? Very much adjacent to The Shining. Shining was they Kubrick would give you those long shots like that of the hall, and it was just always very terrifying. And I'm almost certain, if I were to speak with Kane Parsons, the young 20-year-old phenomenal director, that he that was an inspiration behind those shots. Um, Overall, I think that this movie could end up in my top 25 greatest horror films of all time. And it was something that uh, I saw a couple get up in my theater and they were like, "We're out of here. It's too scary." So, yeah, yeah. So I don't know, man. I like the whole, and again, the ending with the people who used to build MRI machines. They're a company that they've changed, and now they're trying to figure out this whole world, this whole underworld that they've discovered, which is very akin to like a Stranger Things underworld, where it just keeps going deeper and deeper and
Yeah.
deeper. But yeah, man, I'm looking at some stuff here, and the pirate, and this will be the end for me. The pirate is a representation. The big giant scary pirate is a representation. Yes, there is a big giant scary pirate in this movie. So if you don't like pirates, this isn't the movie for you.
Mhm.
So that big giant pirate is a representation because he dresses up like his furniture store is themed after pirates, right? Is a representation of his failures. So again, a
One of the
movie. Go ahead. Go ahead.
one of the things that my kid actually told me about it, because I didn't even know about this before, but there's like a whole community who actually prepared, I don't know if it's videos, YouTube videos. It became like this, kind of renaissance of people who actually made YouTube videos or short films of the backrooms. And until I think Kane Parsons took it upon himself to do the same and actually got offered the opportunity to make the movie. You know more about that stuff than I do, and this is definitely your genre of movie.
Yeah.
My son actually is the one who told me that what they're seeing in the back rooms are actually the way people remember them, or at least how they're remembered. That's what's being represented in the back rooms, a la the furniture store for the Charlie, the character Charlie. You see the furniture, you see the front of the store, which you get a couple shots of that in the movie. The woman, obviously we're in spoiler talk now, so I can talk about it. At the end of the movie, when she's sitting down at her desk, being that she is a shrink and she assists people with whatever problems they're going through, etc. That's kind of how you saw her. That's how she was being remembered in the film.
Yeah.
In the back rooms at that point. That's a point that my son actually brought up to me that I had no idea. And also, apparently, this is also a video game. I didn't even know that until recently. But again, it's a beautiful. It was definitely shot beautifully. I don't know what it is about the yellow walls that just made things that much more scary. But yeah, it definitely had me on the edge of my seat, and I would probably put this in the 8 range for me. I wouldn't go higher than an 8. But that's again, that's the experience I got from it. Definitely a great movie, no question about it, and great performances all around, and really good job on the young guy for Kane Parsons for making this his inaugural movie and doing a great job with it too. So
Yeah. Again, the yellow walls is definitely there for effect. Uh, Yellow, see, look, this is how great directors you can really start to spot them. Okay, yellow is supposed to make you feel uneasy, and it's supposed to make you feel warm, a little bit, like a warming feel. If you notice, and I didn't really understand this, I had to read it. Um, Shia Ejiofor's character, he ends up wanting to stay in the back rooms.
mm,
You understand? Like he got that woman. And by the way, the little short person or the little small person,
turning the light on and off.
bro, come on. That was like
Yeah, that was
that
very
was
creepy. The entire, I think one of the creepier scenes was the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree scene
yeah, yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
she's walking through, the light turns
Yeah,
on
yeah.
and then you just see the lady in the red. The lady in the red was my kind of like, yeah, I wouldn't want to be in the same room with that person.
No,
um
I gotta be honest. If I was to speak with Kane Parsons, I think Insidious was also for sure a inspiration for him
yeah.
because, and it makes sense. He's 20 years old. That movie came out when he was probably 11, 12, 13. So he it probably had some sort of effect on his formidable years.
Yeah.
Because that Christmas tree scene 100% feels like Insidious to me.
Yeah.
And a quick funny story about that. I'll never forget. It's one of my favorite horror films of all time. I'll never forget. Tony went to go watch it here, one of our local theaters in Miami, and shout out to Main Street Classic.
Mhm.
So he went to go watch it 10 o'clock at night with his wife that hates horror films, right? And he calls me. I never forget this. He calls me and he goes, "Hey, you got to go watch this movie." So this movie definitely had some Insidious vibes, and again, it's for me, it's a breath of fresh air. I think we definitely have a revolution going on right now in Hollywood, back to original films, akin of the '90s, akin of the 1970s. Um, and yeah, man, I really really enjoyed
This
this
is what we
one.
need. We need more creative minds going in there making these
Yeah,
films, and and just allowing the artist to create art. At the end of the
yeah,
day, this is what it was. This is definitely an artistic movie, even though it is a horror film. You would never think of a horror film being kind of like artsy, but no, it is definitely an artsy movie in the sense that he was able to tell, to give his vision for the back rooms, to tell it to his full potential, and he did. I mean, he did a killer job. I think it's killing in the box office. So I mean, he's gonna be good. I'm sure he's gonna probably be offered a sequel or
yeah,
two, and then maybe even dab in some other genres, or maybe stick into horror, which is probably what he knows best. But who knows? At the end of the day, A24, they killed it with this movie. And I definitely recommend it by uh by my opinion, and I think that it's solid. It's a very solid flick, man. I really liked it. I enjoyed it a lot.
And look at this, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm really happy. Because I know, I didn't. I was hoping you didn't get too scared in the movie. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So, all right.
It takes a lot. Listen, and I'm not trying to be machismo or anything, but it does take a lot to scare me, to kind of like, quote unquote scare me. It is definitely a creepy movie. I would say it creeps you out, and this, like, again. And I'm not about the jump scares. The jump scares there wasn't many, maybe one or two at the most. But it's those subtle moments. I don't know if you saw the one part where I want to say Charlie was walking, and it was like a pile of clothing off to the side, and there was a head sticking out of it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh yeah.
So that moment I noticed, and I turned to my son and I just go, "Did you see that?" And he goes, "Yeah," because it's those subtleties that I feel really shined in the movie, because not every movie has to have the jump scares and the kind of creeping around the corner and then somebody jumping out at you. I can appreciate when a movie tries to be different and tries to actually, tell horror in a way where it's not, kind of, I guess, the common way, which is, the jump scares. So.
Yeah, you know what I also found interesting was that great directors always give you little hints, and notice that when he went back in, after seeing what he saw, any rational human being would bring some sort of weapon with them, obviously, right? Like something, but he didn't.
As
He
Demi wakes up and sits on my lap.
Look at that. Little Dave. So
she's gonna be our guest guest host here, but we'll let her sit around and as we finish up here.
All right. Well, yeah. Before we, yeah, my daughter used to.
You have anything to say about Backrooms, Mama? No.
She doesn't even know what that is. But yeah, man. Before we wrap up here, just so you know, the global gross right now for Mando is $293. Backrooms is sitting at $212.
Wow.
Yeah, the Mando cost $165 million to make. Backrooms cost $10 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think definitely a better return on investment there for Backrooms. But no, that makes me happy. At the end of the day, that's what we need. That's definitely what we need, and hopefully we see more of that. And listen, they deserve it, man. They made a very, very good movie, and it's deserved of all the accolades it receives. So,
all right, well, guys, you got our opinion on Backrooms. Overall, we loved it, both of us. Thank you for watching. Go check out the movie. Like and subscribe. Many more videos to come. The Danny Cut. Like it, share it. I don't know. Smash the like button. Call your cousin. Tell them to smash the like button. And then after that, call your mom. Why not? So, all right, guys, like and subscribe. Pretty much just like and subscribe. And no, I'm kidding. I'm gonna cut that out. And you guys, I will see you on the next one.
Deuces.